With us to talk more about President Trump's first 100 days is Inderjeet Parmar. He's a professor of international politics at City University here in London. Inderjeet, thank you very much for coming in. We appreciate it. Donald Trump's 100 days, we're all reflecting on that, of course, 101 days as it is now. His approval rating at home is at rock bottom, but he's ruffled quite a few feathers on the foreign stage, some would say in a very positive way over the last 100-odd days. Where have his successes been?
I think it's interesting that it depends on who you are when you look at his successes and failures. His approval rating is very, very low, probably historically the lowest ever. On the other hand, Republican voters see him as a great president already, and their approval rating is over 90%. So it's quite clear that although he's rode back on foreign policy issues towards military first as opposed to America first, and is much more interventionist than he promised to be, and at home he has put billionaire businessmen into the cabinet and in charge of financial and economic policy, which doesn't necessarily put money in the pockets of his working-class votes. There clearly are some parts of his message which are resonating very strongly with his core voters.
We saw in the rally yesterday, he's very much appealing to his base, the people who already do support him. He stood, of course, on a platform of division. Do you see this president reaching out to wider America and the people who are his critics at any point during his administration?
I think he's got a pretty smart strategy, even if I don't like it, and that is that he always refers to the United States and the people of it being diverse and of, bleeding the same blood and so on, which I think allays some of his supporters who do not want to be ranked as discriminatory or racist or divisive in any kind of way. But I don't see him having to cross the aisle, if you like, to reach out too much to other voters if he can secure his core base. But there are elements of his core base which are insecure as well. Those workers in Pennsylvania and elsewhere are looking to see whether jobs are going to come back into their communities. And currently they don't see it.
To get that kind of success on the jobs front as well, you need legislative action. He hasn't had any of that yet. It's all been about executive orders. How long can he go with just sort of issuing more executive orders without actually getting anything through Congress? That
is the big question. The key issue is there's two things. One is economic anxiety, and the other is a kind of status anxiety about the diverse character of American society. On the economic front, people voted for him because they thought he's going to bring back jobs and so on. The issue is he may well bring some jobs back or create some jobs. What kind of jobs are they? Are they secure? Are they kind of long-term jobs? That's an issue. But I think his master strategy seems to be who is to blame if those jobs don't come back, if they're not good jobs. And the blame is going towards the outsider, the foreigner, the illegal immigrant. And on that front, he says he's very successful.
From an international perspective, foreign policy by the Trump administration, North Korea is what everyone's talking about at the moment. Donald Trump has said he's not happy with what Kim Jong-un is doing, is threatening at the moment. How is that rhetoric being received abroad? Is it working?
Well, I think there's two levels. There's the rhetorical level, which is frightening everyone, because in a way, we're used to North Korean leaders upping the ante on many, many occasions. We're not so used to American leaders doing the same. But unfortunately, now we have two leaders speaking the same kind of game, which is a sort of military-first strategy. That is frightening. On the other hand, I think there are private talks which are going on between Chinese leaders and North Korean leaders and American leaders. That is to say that at the deeper level, it may well be that we can see some tensions decreasing. But unfortunately, at the moment, the saber-rattling is what is getting everybody's attention and worrying very many people.
Yeah, one to watch, of course. Busy time for you, no doubt. Professor Parmar, thanks very much for coming in this Sunday morning. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.